You have some great clothes there. That's a really nice
Oh,
design on the shirt.
my caravan T-shirt, especially when we reformed it, my cousin and I to do the TV show in 1990 Bedrock series. Okay,
Hmm.
most of the help was coming from my partner then, Heather Kinnear, and she had T-shirts made and everything. She really sort of went for it. She was really good. She was really the one that instigated all everybody to want to be in the Canterbury scene. Well, they didn't actually want to be in the Canterbury scene. None of them, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's another story. And like my mum says, if you haven't got anything good to say about people, don't say it.
It's good to see you today. So, is it warm there? Cold? It's
No, it's
winter here.
cold. I've got all this stuff on. I've been feeding the dogs and come in and got a bit tidied up. Yeah, it's just where sometimes it's really amazing weather at Christmas time and the Christmas holiday and into the new year.
Hmm.
This year it's just a bit chilly. I mean,
Hmm.
where I live in the Campania, you know, in the countryside,
Hmm.
only 3.5 miles outside of Martina Franca, which is called the Pearl of Puglia. All roads go to that. I moved here for very good reasons. One, it's really beautiful,
I can
and
imagine.
and there's no people where I live.
Can't argue with that. You have your peace. You have your peace.
That's what you have, and that's what you need if you're composing and thinking about music or just living. I mean, the air's good here, the food's good here. Some of the best stuff grows in, you know, down south Italy is the place to be. Whole of Italy is beautiful, but it's full of people and
No
full of
doubt.
tourists.
No doubt. Yeah, I've been to Europe, but I never been to Italy, and I regret that. I
It's
wish I
worth
could.
coming and having a look. There's some nice music played here too.
Very
There's
cool.
quite a good following for the classical music here and jazz,
No doubt.
and also because of the latest fashionable thing, which is called prog and things like that. I'm the honorary president of several prog rock societies. It's all the young guys kicking off with their first CDs and things, and so I'm always in there. I really enjoy it actually.
Eternal respect for you. Eternal respect.
That's very kind of you.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So the most recent thing that I have that you play on is this band called Doubt.
Oh, I played on many ever since then. That was back in 2000 and something.
Okay.
14 was it something? Yeah, I was invited to go up there to a go. There's another guy has a studio, Beppe Cravella from
Hmm.
Artie Mysteri,
Hmm.
and they used his. That's one of the known sort of progressive rock bands from the earlier days in
I,
Italy. He's
I have their records.
do you? Yeah,
Yes, I
he's a
do.
nice guy. Beppe's good fun. He's a great follower of the Canterbury scene.
Hmm.
Very much so to do with the keyboard thing. He's a keyboardist and
Hmm.
that writer of music, bit of a
Yeah.
singer.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It's pretty good,
Well, we were
actually.
supposed to form a band called Kent, but it didn't quite happen because I didn't quite have enough time to do all that stuff.
Hmm.
There's still maybe happen in the future.
Hmm. Hmm.
Son, he wanted to call it Kent, you know.
Kent. Yeah.
I'm not sure he meant Clark Kent. Well, you know, Canterbury Kent.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
it's the nearest he could sort of like, you know, do the deal of the Canterbury scene.
Hmm.
Many musicians follow the Canterbury scene. It's so funny that it only came together. I mean, it really came together because of the media.
Hmm.
And yes, it has a certain sound and things like that that came from the Wildflowers,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
very first band that kicked it all off. But Canterbury
Right.
already had many other great musicians and things. Some became quite famous in the
Hmm.
end, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
to do with the jazz world, really. And also as I said before, my father was the main singer in Canterbury and East Kent. He had his own quintet before the Second World War.
Hmm.
And so my family are very orientated into Canterbury. And I was saying to you, wasn't I, the last time my great great grandfather was in Canterbury in 1800.
Hmm. I watched back the interview, the chat yesterday, and it really touched me how, your family and your father are very important to you. That's pretty cool.
Oh, the number one. Come on. He was a great singer. He really was. That's where all the voices came from. I had my son Jason came from. He lives now in Hong Kong and has done for the last 21 years, I think. And I've not really seen him, only like this.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
he arrived with his family and his second Chinese wife and my granddaughter Sophia. And she's playing the piano, which is great, right? And he's got a great voice like mine,
Hmm.
Jason.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we're going to do some work together for the, my. First of all, you'll hear it on my Bandcamp and all that. He
Awesome.
writes songs and things like that. He was very into George Michael, and I kept saying, "Look, you have a Canterbury voice, dear Jace.
Hmm.
Stop using other people to sing your tunes. You've got a great voice." And so he's into it. So
That's
we had a
awesome.
lovely 3 days here. It
That's
was the
great.
first sort of. I mean, it's really set me up for this new year, my dear son Jace,
Hmm.
and his beautiful wife Jojo, Joey.
You're
I mean,
blessed.
he lived in China on an
Hmm.
island just off Hong Kong.
Hmm.
And oh goodness, he's 17 stories in the air, but he's always traveling around. He's always flying to do his job. He creates these conferences that all the legal brigade to go in to do the business in all the East
He's doing
countries,
well then.
even as this way as far as Dubai. And anyway, that's talking
Wow.
about him. And there's some music
Wow.
to come. Let
Well,
everybody know.
cool.
I'm going
Well,
to be singing with him.
awesome. Awesome. Well, Richard, you mentioned earlier how the press probably made up this Canterbury
Well, they didn't make it
scene.
up. What was that? What happened? Can I just tell you the story?
Well, yeah.
Um, I mean, I think I told it to you the other day. My father was a singer in Canterbury, so the Hugh Upper boys' parents used to go and see him, dinner dance stuff. Okay,
Hmm.
he played all the popular standards of the singing type stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nat King Cole particularly. He had a voice like Nat King Cole, but he sang in an
He's been to my
English
house.
accent.
Nat
Okay.
King Cole's been to our house. Nat King Cole's been to my house.
Yeah, I know. You were telling about all these amazing people that
Yeah. Yeah.
your father played with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you
go
had a
ahead.
really good start too,
Yeah.
didn't
But
you,
go
with
ahead.
all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. But go
I
ahead.
want to know more about that
Yeah.
eventually, but you want to know about my deal, I suppose, don't you? But I'm looking forward to having another great long chat with you and hearing about
Hmm.
your deal. I mean, I've only got 7 years on you. I mean, it's
That's
like
right. That's
we're
right.
still looking pretty good, aren't we?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in. Quick question about the Canterbury thing. The way it was pitched in the press in America was that you guys, Caravan, actually left and lived in the country in a tent. Was that press?
Uh, how it happened was the reason why caravan started is because I was in wildflowers and I could only manage 6 months of it because I had to go to college to do my industrial design course. I told you that the pet shop, pencil. I could draw and paint and do so, and God knows what else. Because of my mum and dad, they were
Mhm.
really, and also all this, rather poor grammar I have. They were really good at it. And my dad went to a Simon Langton school, like all the other boys in the Canterbury scene, like Robert Wyatt,
Mhm. Mhm.
like Hugh Hopper and Brian Hopper, like Mike Ratleys. They all went. I didn't make it into the grammar school, okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm really happy I didn't because it meant I could sit next to my cousins, females, and so I had girlfriends all the way through that. So it wasn't like, yeah, it's much more fun.
You bet. The good stuff.
Anyway, what was the thing? So yeah, Caravan started really because they'd all joined the Wildflowers. First one to join it was when I gave up on it after 6 months. Kevin had already left by then,
Hmm.
Kevin Ayres, and I really didn't want to stay in. I had my own music things to do and things like that, and I enjoy to play with you and Brian and everybody, but really it wasn't. I'm a choir boy.
Hmm. Hmm.
La di da 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 dee. And so
Hmm.
this deal of the Beatnik Brigade, they
Hmm.
were all 5 years older than me,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was the baby of the band,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I could manage to play guitar no problem at all, and chords and stuff and things like that. I wasn't really a soloist then, but really it all sounded so out of tune. I just couldn't manage it. I just didn't want to be in it,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
and it all came later. This sort of deal
Hmm.
that the soft machine created. Okay, that's
Hmm.
and I was the first person to leave it. and I gave my job to Pi,
Hmm.
who arrived in Canterbury with his sister Jane, who
Okay.
was married to one of the most amazing people in England. He was a gambling man. His name was John Aspinall. He had this huge farm, and not farm, a zoo with every
Okay.
animal you can imagine
Hmm.
outside of Canterbury. It's just amazing.
Wow.
I think it was the biggest one in Europe that had tigers and lions, and
Oh, wow.
people were
Wow.
always dying because of the tigers. You know, the kids, they used to get away with it
Wow.
because they got so much dosh.
Hmm.
And who moved in on Jane Aspinall, because her name wasn't Jane Hastings then, was Mr. Kevin Ayres.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That's a boy. This wayward looking person with that windswept hair and very good looking, and
Hmm.
who'd been in the thinger with wildflowers. And so Caravan came from that because of Pi
Okay.
and his influence by his own brother, Jimmy Hastings, who was one of the number one saxophone players
Yes.
in England. He was
Yes.
in the BBC orchestra, and he was really the Stan Getz of England. He was
Yes.
known
Yes.
as that.
Yes. I've got him in my
And he was
collection.
in Canterbury because of Jane, and he used to come down also because of music. My dad used to play with him.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you know, Jimmy was at my sister's 21st birthday party when I was only 12. She was
Mm.
9 years older than me. She
Hmm.
was a singer too, my sister Margaret.
Yeah.
Her name became Inkpen, which was her husband's name, Doug Inkpen. He was a musician too.
Hmm.
And so everything around me was always music, music,
Hmm.
music. You know.
Hmm.
Jimmy was at the my sister's 21st, you know, playing music. That's when I got first to meet him, you know.
Hmm. Hmm. So it's always been the music as opposed to the business. It sounds like you were really never
I
interested in the
yeah.
business.
I mean, the business is the business. I'm there for the people, right? You know, and so
Hmm.
that's the reason why. In fact, I mean, I couldn't stay in Canterbury and Caravan any longer. I had to move forward on my
Hmm.
music
Hmm.
studies and ability, and also, as I said to you, I'd already got Steve Miller in the band when my cousin Dave Sinclair had left after we'd made Land of Grey and Pink.
Yeah.
And his great opus piece on the B side of the album was on 9 Foot Underground. And so, all in the key of D, by the way, the whole job lot.
It works though. It's amazing. You wouldn't think that, but it really works, for a
Well, it's
long
D. I
prolonged
mean, two
piece.
Sinclairs in the band, that was always interesting, wasn't it? Because our harmonics sort of compatible. We were like chalk and cheese. We all had different ways
Hmm.
of wanting to play.
Hmm.
I was a lot more, I suppose you could call it jazzy, but not really. It was to
Hmm.
do with my dad and the standards that he sang, the
Hmm.
melodies and things. You know, we're both songwriters,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
cousin and I, and
Hmm.
I used to love to sing his music and things, and you know, also Pi's, but Pi was really the leader, and
Okay.
so he was the one. But they were all in. That's the story I'm trying to tell is Richard Coughlin joined after Pi
Okay.
because Robert left and they needed a drummer. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he was friends with Hugh and Brian.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Dave Sinclair joined
Okay.
keyboards.
So did you say that Robert Wyatt was in Caravan for a while?
No, he's in the Wildflowers
Okay. And so
with Kevin Ayres.
then he went off Soft Machine and
Then he left to do duo work with a man that came down from the north who played piano. He did, I forget the name right offhand, but no, they did that. He was from the north. And then he always wanted to be a singer, Robert.
mm, hmm.
And then he formed he formed Soft Machine with David Allen was the main instigator of that.
Right. Who I've also met. Did you and David Allen get along?
Yeah, for sure. I
Hmm.
mean, Pip was playing drums and things, and so I got to know him more because of Pip, I suppose,
Hmm.
really.
Hmm. Hmm.
He didn't get back into the country when Soft Machine went down to Cannes to do a festival there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
because he hadn't got a work permit, he came from Australia, they wouldn't let him back into the country. And so then Soft Machine became Kevin Ayres, Robert, and Mike Ratledge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what supported that was Kevin's girlfriend then was Pi's sister, Jane. Her name was Jane Aspinall.
Hmm. Hmm.
And obviously, it, their relationship, the Espinals, it didn't work, and so because Kevin had come into the family group,
Hmm.
and so Jane paid for the first rehearsals and all that stuff for what became the Soft Machine then, okay, out at a place called Watmer Hall in Surrey.
Wow.
And I remember seeing Mike Ratliff for the first time with his organ on the lawn in this place,
Mm.
okay.
Hmm.
She'd got it there so they could all live together. Pi was there too, staying there. Before then, he used to stay with me,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then he moved on from that. His first 6 weeks in Canterbury, he was down, and you know, I was part of the Wildflowers then, and so we got to know each other because he'd been bought a guitar, I think probably by his sister or maybe even Kevin.
Hmm. Sounds like it was a mostly a good experience for you, Richard.
Oh, it always has been because I'm always there for the people, and so I don't have fans; they're all friends. And so instead of having hundreds of thousands of fans, I was always off stage before I went on and to talk to people and see what they were there like,
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
So I know
fantastic.
their families. I got their grandchildren now playing
Yeah.
me my music.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It's funny.
Well, I just it that part of you has always come through the music. To me, I've always felt like the music that you make is very human, very, very warm.
Well, I think I mean, if you're talking about me, that's because of my dad. He was there also for the audience and things like that. And the people used to love him because of his voice,
Hmm.
his bass playing. He's a drummer. He was also an entertainer in the way that he played banjos and see, one of the things he used to do that whole deal, he'd go on stage with a bit of wood and a saw,
Hmm.
and he'd do it in rhythm, and he'd cut this bit of wood off, and he'd go zit, 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 zit. And then with that bit of wood, he'd play the saw.
That's pretty
Yeah.
darn
So
cool.
he'd get all the nice melodies he'd play on the singing saw, right?
Oh,
And all
wow.
that sort of stuff, and things like that.
Yeah.
He was really valuable stuff. He was a great entertainer, and he was a very nice personality, and so he was never going to travel around the world because he had to go to fight in Burma. In fact, the
Hmm.
Japanese had moved into Burma, hadn't they, and
Hmm.
all that sort of stuff. Luckily, I'm still on the planet because he was before the front line doing the sound signals. He could send Morse code faster than anybody could read it. So
Yeah.
I had to slow down a bit.
Thank him. Thank goodness he did that. Thank him. Thank him. So,
Well, he got malaria. It's the only reason why, because nearly all his mates and things that came from England, they had to sail around the Cape of Good Hope then, didn't they? It's right down Africa then, because the Suez Canal wasn't in place, and so that was quite a journey apparently. And
hmm.
then and then of course he was, a private in the army in front of the Royal Artillery, in front of the front line, because they were sending signals back to where
Hmm.
the sound of the guns were coming from and all that. And so,
Did
he
you guys?
told me all about the sounds of the bullets and all that sort of stuff. It was all to do with sound. Anyway, he was moved back because he
Hmm.
had malaria and he was putting everybody out of their bunks because he was having nightmares. He was taken back to Calcutta,
Hmm.
Bombay,
Hmm.
where everybody used to arrive, and he worked as a musician for the officers' mess,
Hmm.
which he just breezed in, and so he was an entertainer then.
Yeah. So you're writing this all in a book form, right? You're writing your you're writing a book, are you?
Well, I'm going to do it with photographs. I'm not a very good reader, right? I haven't read that many books. I think
Okay.
the one I liked the most was Lord of the Rings and Shogun. I
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
didn't get further than that. I
Hmm.
just couldn't do. I'm more into reading things that I like to know about, like, antiques and furniture and
Yeah.
tools and metalwork and things like that. So I'm more into the
Hmm.
craft side rather than the what we call the intellectual side of it all.
Yeah.
I'd rather make my own movies and I'd rather write my own book, which I haven't done yet. But yeah, it's part of the whole deal. Other people tend to take my stories and put them into like you and all that stuff and put them in, so I can always view that back. Um, yes, I have to tell my Canterbury story because it isn't like the media system at all. It's very much to do with Canterbury, not, as Robert Wyatt would say, a bunch of London tourists, jazzers.
Yeah, yeah. You know the real story.
Well, my family lived there and they were there since before 1800.
Yeah,
And I've
that's
got
awesome.
many artifacts that relate to the British Empire, which of course, was a quarter of the planet Earth. It's why everybody has to struggle to communicate in English because it's where the money is, isn't it? And all that crap.
All that
So
crap, indeed. Indeed, indeed. Awesome. I have another question for you about some music, if I may.
please just go away. Otherwise, I can.
What's the story
Yeah.
behind this record?
Yeah. Well, Alan Garn was always about near where we used to live as Hatfield in the North. And I remember being the first one to go round and play bass with him before, as he was starting his band Gilgamesh. Okay.
Yes,
And I met all these, Travis, the drummer, and Phil Lee, who was a really good guitarist.
yes, yes.
They've left the planet, unfortunately, all these people, and now and too. It's so sad. But that album was made in Alan's house in South London.
Hmm.
And before I used to go around he lived near Hammersmith. Where I lived was with Pit Pile
Hmm.
and our two families together. And we were all friends with Alan, and I was sent round there and say, hey, Alan wants someone to play bass.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So when I was in Hatfield and North practicing and all that sort of stuff and doing it, I went round there and had to play with Alan. He's one of the sweetest people on planet Earth that played
Nice,
music. There was
nice.
no one sweeter than Alan. He was just a delight to be with. And it's in his music. He was, pretty well organised to play lovely music. Anyway, Phil and Alan made very good friends with each other when Alan came to play
Hmm.
in the Hatfield
Hmm.
gigs and things like that, when it got a bit broader, when
Hmm.
he was also a friend with Dave Stewart. And
Hmm.
so it came about that Phil and Alan wanted to make an album. And I was immediately asked to be the bass player, which was really, I was blessed with that because their music is just the best music I played,
It's
really.
fantastic. It
And it's
is.
the best bass playing I did too then.
It is
And
wonderful.
but Phil had always not really wanted me to sing. Okay, so it's a bit of a shame, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Geez.
wish
Yeah.
they'd all sang. It's
Hmm.
such a shame that they didn't
Hmm.
sing and have.
Hmm.
All the
Hmm.
jazz people say, "Oh no, we don't sing." Da da da.
Hmm.
God,
Hmm.
they're singing inside themselves, aren't they? And so you can hear it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it makes it so much easier for an audience to respect what they're doing. So the ones that aren't so musically orientated.
Hmm.
More into
Yes,
the
yes. The voice.
entertainment side of music.
Yes, the voice, indeed. The
And
voice.
so that happened over 3 weeks recording. We had an engineer that was a really good friend to us all, amazing. I think he used to work for the BBC too, recording engineer. And
And so was this right before that? This album, right? Was this right before that or after?
this came before it, yes.
Okay.
That was organised by Dave Stewart mainly and Pip and Phil to celebrate, the music and
Yeah.
passing of Alan. Yeah,
Hmm.
he got cancer then, and um, each week we were playing, he went into hospital on a Thursday to have a lumbar puncture,
Mm.
see what they could do for him. But he
Hmm.
was just knew that he wasn't going to be staying on the planet. And
Mm.
his music sounds like it, doesn't it? It's like
Hmm.
amazing what he plays on the
It is.
album. It's like, wow,
It is
he was
very
already
unique.
out there.
It is very
So,
unique. It is. Yeah. He doesn't
and
sound
it's
like
called
anybody else.
Before a Word is Said.
Hmm.
And we tried out Gary Husband as a drummer who came round and read the music, but he wasn't interested to do it. Gary has played with John McLaughlin.
Yes, I've met Gary.
He's a great keyboard player and a
Yes,
great drummer,
yes.
but he came round, of course, he just whizzed through the music and said, look, it's not for me. I'm going to be playing it. I don't have time to come and join you to do that. I'm going to be playing with Alan Holdsworth. So that's when he was heading towards Alan,
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
that
That's when I met him was
extreme
when he was with
rainbow
Alan.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I met him when he was playing with Alan Holdsworth. Yeah, amazing
Yeah.
music. I love it.
I
Yeah.
mean, Alan was just amazing. You had to stand next to him, actually. If you weren't a musician and all that, you get the energy. It's like
Mm.
amazing. It was like standing next to a rainbow that was exploding.
Ooh, that's
You
neat.
know, so,
That's a neat description. A rainbow exploding. I like that.
well, it was. It's just colour. That was a bit of a problem for me because every bit of music sounds the same, which of course it isn't. It's played at such a speed
Mm-hmm.
and at such an intensity of. I mean, Alan had his own way of playing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it
Totally.
wasn't really to do with the maths of music. It's like a picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was amazing.
It
You know,
was. It was.
when I played with Tony Cope, I don't know about Tony Clay, but he was really for me the number one clarinet player on planet Earth, and he came from Canterbury.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to play with his dad. So I got to know Tony, and he always used to like to come and play my music. But when we talked about Alan, because obviously Tony had played with Alan a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
and what did he call him? He called him a lunatic or something, just a maniac.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's no one else like Alan, was there? There's no one like Alan. It's like there's no one like Jacob Strois. There's no one like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
There's
Amazing.
no one like Jimmy Page. It's like or there's no one like Jeff Beck, who's one of my favourite or was,
There's no one
still
like
is
you.
in fact.
There's no one like you.
Well, I suppose I don't know. No, because I'm a loony as well. I'm completely in my own world.
You've made your mark on the world as far as I'm concerned, Richard. Over here in Nebraska, I mean, I listen to everything, but some of the music I return to most consistently is that Canterbury, what they call Canterbury.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, it held a lot of good songwriters, basically. Okay, there's a lot of jazzers. Call them jazzers. They're called, jazzers that don't sing. It's such a shame.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tony Coe used to sing.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't
Yeah.
have a problem about singing. He was an
Yeah.
entertainer. He was a real Canterbury entertainer. You know what
Did
I
he
mean?
play with Don Rendell?
I'm sure he did. Yeah, and many
Yeah.
other.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to go to United States to play with the big bands.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They wanted him over there, but of course Tony never flew.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't do it, even to go up in
Mm-hmm.
the stairs in the church and
Mm-hmm.
play on that level. He couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got him recorded two tunes in Harlingen. We did a Canterbury Festival in Harlingen, my girlfriend and I. Heather, she organised a lot. She did a lot of work for the Canterbury scene,
Mm-hmm.
and she
Mm-hmm.
never really got a thank you for it. Such a shame.
It
I
is a
managed
shame.
to reform Caravan. She did all this work, all this stuff.
Beautiful.
Everything, artwork,
Beautiful.
fantastic. She was amazing. She was also a bit of a singer, but wouldn't sing. You know, she left that up to me. It's a
Mm.
shame. And fantastic artwork. We made ceramics, second to none. She was wonderful. And yeah,
So
so
what?
we had a place in Roper Road, which was one of the old mayor's homes. We had the centre floor of it, and so we had a garden that was big one. When I had birthday parties, I had 150 people in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are talking near the centre of town. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
imagine what was that like? All these
Yeah.
people, and we had like barbecues for 3 days. And on the third day, I'd go out there with one of these vacuum cleaners and clean all the bottle tops and joint ends and everything else that people were doing.
I just
It
got
all
the
went up into the vacuum cleaner, spiders, a lot.
yeah. I just got the 10-minute warning, so they'll just cut us off. So we'll keep talking for a little bit longer. But did you guys do the festival circuit as Caravan? Did you guys do any festivals?
I did a few concerts because I left early, didn't I? And so I didn't do all that stuff like coming to America and
Oh, okay.
I did it
Okay.
a bit later when we reformed Caravan, and this is the reason why I live in Italy. We got in '91 after the '90s TV show. We got invited to come to Italy and with the original band, you know.
Nice.
And we did a concert, and of course, I came back the following year.
Hmm.
I really fell in love. We'd never been to Italy, any of us, and it was like fantastic. Most of the Brits usually go to Spain, which is
Hmm.
also another beautiful Mediterranean spot,
Yeah.
especially for the workforce from England to go and have a good time by the
Hmm.
sea, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, how is your house coming? You say
My
you're.
truly, yes. I'll send you some photographs and things like that and things like so you get to know what I am.
Mhm.
It's going good. I've got to put a floor in. It's at different levels. The level where they used to make the wine is lower than the floor I'm on at the moment, and then the kitchen. So I'm trying to make it level all the way through.
Oh, okay.
Truly was for people to build their own. They built their own homes, providing that they supplied the Duke, Martina Franca. Okay,
Hmm.
that's why it's called Martina Franca. Franca is the
Okay.
stamp of the, you know, from the
Yeah.
palace.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
So,
Martina Franca is all about classical music, really. They have their own classical music festival every year. I'm hoping to go down there. It's all acoustic.
sounds nice. Sounds
Inside the
nice.
palace is a square courtyard, and
Hmm.
you play to 2,500 people, all looking very smart and tidy. And I
Oh,
always got
yes.
invited down there to go and look at six bass players playing in line right at the front and all that stuff. So I really done. Of course, all the young guys they knew me. Said, "Hey, Richard, you coming to see us, aren't you? Great, you know." I played music with all the classical boys because they also play the modern music as well.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Richard, this connecting with you, I'm really feeling blessed and I feel like
Let's
you're
get to play some music together, you and I. Obviously, we're going to do that at some
I
time,
I
right?
I
So
feel a
yeah,
connection. I
I play
do.
a bit of guitar and sing and stuff like that. It'd be nice to play bass together and all that. But no, you're a bass player. I can hear that. And so I'm interested to know about your deal too. And I will get to what's it called? Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska, right above Kansas.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
lots of good musicians in Kansas. It's a great place to go and play. I expect you go down there too. Eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot
So,
of friends that I can introduce you to that listen to the music that would like to know about you since you found out about me, for
yes.
sure.
Yes.
And
Do you
now we
plan
got Bandcamp. We can work together, can't we?
we can work together. We
I will
absolutely.
check your Bandcamp and all the rest of the stuff out and
Absolutely. Do
get
you
other people to
plan
do mine.
do you plan to do any traveling anytime soon?
Well, really, I'm here now just to try and work on my archive series.
Hmm.
Hopefully, it's going to be brought out by Vivid Sound in Japan. There's already that Hatfield and the North album when I managed to get the band to go. It's me that reformed the band
Hmm.
from my own bands.
Hmm.
Hatfield and the North, that's the TV show, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's 1990. That's what I was
Mhm.
talking about, how I came to come to,
To
you know,
eat.
how to. Pitt reformed it again for that show
Okay.
with his girlfriend because Dave Stewart was never going to play Hatfield music again together. I
Hmm.
think they'd had enough of it by the
Hmm.
time they got through National Health.
Dave Stewart left a message on the video yesterday saying hello and that there was no hard feelings about you leaving. I thought that was kind of funny.
That's a good one. I left because I have all these tapes and things like that, you know, of me, all my music that came out on my later albums that I didn't get a chance really. I was never very forceful. I always went ahead. And then by that time, Dave had taken over the band. Both Pip and Phil had followed him.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't really, I mean, it started off with Steve Miller, and there was recently a thing up about that and saying,
Mhm.
oh, this tape someone must have had. It's my tapes
Yeah.
that keep coming up, you know. And they've
Uh,
got Dave Stewart's picture on. In fact, it's Steve Miller,
wow.
and it's in a place where we also played with Lord Coxall when I first moved up. And
Hmm.
so on my recorder, I tape many things. Many of those tapes went to Phil Miller. who
Mm.
didn't have such a good recorder as mine.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
there's a lot of hiss on it. So I think
Okay.
this
Okay.
tape that was up there yesterday, I think, is one
Mm.
of mine. I
Wow.
have thousands of tapes
Wow.
from that time. It's called my David Sinclair's youngest son, Nicholas Sinclair, who came down here 2 years ago, and I immediately got him on stage to sing my tunes and his dad's tunes,
Hmm.
which he'd
Hmm.
never done.
Hmm.
Which he got a
Nice.
great compliment from my son, saying, "Wow, that's a lot of courage." Because Jason, my own son, hasn't got to do that yet, but he
Hmm.
is next year. All right.
Hmm.
So yeah, the
Before we,
Sinclair family and all that sort of
you
stuff. And
bet.
so yeah,
We're going to get cut off. I don't want, it'll just cut us off in mid sentence. We have so much more to talk about. Can I schedule another talk with you
please.
next week? Next week.
Yeah. Why don't you do it straight away?
I'll leave you a message when I'm feeling I got the time, okay? Because I'm working
Oh,
on
okay. You're busy as well. Yeah, yeah. No, I
I
want to
have,
hear about you. You can phone
yeah,
me up.
yeah.
We can do this off all this stuff,
Oh, awesome. Just whenever we feel like
Yeah,
it.
no, really. I think we should do a lot more talking together because, yes, you want to know about it, and you're the perfect person to put this up on the Canterbury scenes that you're
Mhm.
already in.
Yeah.
Going up to people. You aren't going up to people and tinkling on that one, yeah? Or Hatfield and Carol. No, you should be on it because it's really good, that one. Jonah, refrain.
Okay. Okay.
I'll introduce you. I'm not very good at this, but you should really get on them all.
I will. I will.
No,
Okay.
really, because I'm sure that your music's going to be interesting to listen to as well when it comes up. That's the market for you. That's what I try and do with everybody.
Well, I
Hey,
appreciate that.
if you're interested in the Canterbury scene, then obviously you should be part of it, and you're very much part of it for me now.
Well, I appreciate
Okay.
that. That means a lot to me. Thank you, Richard. I'll
Well,
e
it's very kind that you should say that. It means even more so to me, especially like people like the New York guy, and
yeah.
there's many of them, many around the world, all linking together. And I think it can only, it from Canterbury, you only get peace in
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah.
Okay, and I
Yeah.
think it's really important now because there's such a lot of rock music that sounds like anthems for war to me, and I
Yes.
think
Yes.
what a
I
shame.
agree. I
What
agree.
a shame. You can be powerful, but
Yeah.
like all the things that Dave Stewart is like da 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 da,
Mhm.
all this stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
I think John McLaughlin got it right when he did the Shakti, and his latest music is pretty powerful, but it's with peace in mind
Very
for sure.
spiritual. Yeah. Very spiritual.
Yeah,
Okay. So I'll email you before I schedule the next talk. All righty.
lovely, good.
Good talking to you. Have a great
I'm
evening.
looking forward to talking to you, Derek. Really am.
Be
There's
blessed.
so many better stories that I can tell you that I
I
think
look forward to that.
you'll
I'm probably
realise why
I'm
the Canterbury scene is what it is.
I'm
Not
probably going to go ahead and pay for a month of this so we don't get cut off, so we can talk at ease. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I'll
Do you
let
need
you
some
know.
money for that? Tell me, what do you have to pay? Is it
Oh, I
expensive?
don't know. It's not that much. It's just that I don't use this very often. But since I'm going to use it,
Me
I'll go
neither.
ahead.
I don't, but thank you for using it because I only use it because people know how to sign me in. So
This is a great pleasure. I'll talk to you in a
yeah,
minute.
lovely.
Okay.
Have a nice day, you.
You too.
I'm
You
looking
too.
forward to getting the time to listen to this stuff on your Bandcamp too.
Please do. Please do. Take care, Richard.
Yeah, you too. Happy days always. Ciao,
Bye bye.
ciao.